what are your thoughts? Like, for what is the ideal type of entrepreneur that Singapore is more appropriate for versus Malaysia? Where's the right fit? Ravi, let's start with you. Who do you think would be better suited to Malaysia as opposed to Singapore, generally speaking?
Generally speaking, I think Malaysia is still, the labor are, not to say cheaper, is quite compatible, okay, in this region. So it's more doable for manufacturing companies to open up here, okay, the contract manufacturing, this kind of things, okay. So because the cost will be more effective they do it here because we have a good infrastructure. Only the problem these few years we are seeing the government is not stable, as you understand, because there's changes, a lot of investment have more. Other than that, I don't see any issues on this. Going forward, I think they're doing something to bring more on this. Actually, recently also before the pandemic, all these things, pandemic is also one of the reasons hitting it. You see some of the factories, Penang also, a lot of factories pull out from Penang early stage during the pandemic. But I heard a lot of new companies is coming. Even my state in Negeri Sembilan, we have a big industries area also. There are big investment also coming in. So it's most on, I can see it's most on labor, still on labor incentive. Economics is more suitable to Malaysia at the moment. Although we are diversifying other things like talents and professionals, but at the moment it's there, I can say, for Malaysia.
Understood. What about you, Bunyam? What is the ideal type of entrepreneurial business model for which Singapore is a more appropriate jurisdiction?
Okay, Singapore, first of all, leverage very much on international context. So the reason why Singapore is one of the popular countries to set up for entrepreneurs to set up their business or to come here to work. Reason being, first of all, it's an international field. So you have a lot of IHQ, international headquarters down in Singapore, banking hub, finance hub, things like that. So they are all happening in Singapore. So logistic-wise, it's still one of the logistic hub in Singapore. So you have all the transshipment happening in Singapore back in the British days. So it's nothing new. So what Singapore is doing is still leveraging on all these incentives and to further work on the branding on the international arena. So, but they have to work with partners like Singapore, work very closely with Malaysia, even for us. So the government actually encouraged us to work very closely with neighboring countries. Like recently, I think Singapore signed some agreement with Vietnam, right? Certain trades to Malaysia many years ago. So what happened is now we see the international economy has been very different from before, very isolated, very divided. So Singapore and the region, I would say Asia Pacific or at least Southeast Asia would be very interesting in terms of coming to work together. So the model is like you set up the structure in Singapore and you would put all the activities outside Singapore, right? So, lately we have a lot like coming down from China. So what happens is Chinese is coming out from, but setting up the base in Singapore, but they have to put the plant somewhere else. So that's where Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, they are all equally important. Yeah, depending on your industry. So if you are doing mining industry, so probably you end up in some eastern state in Malaysia or Indonesia perhaps, right? So yes, if you're doing like what Ravi say, contract manufacturing, you end up in southern Malaysia or northern Malaysia would be, right? So these are the landscape that I see. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of summarize, Malaysia's well suited for someone who is on the manufacturing side because of course there's more space. The cost of getting things done is probably going to be a bit more attractive, and you have a well-educated workforce that is at a price that is not as high as, let's say, Singapore or Hong Kong, right? But Singapore is very tiny and very expensive. So and it's also positioned itself as an international, at least a regional, but definitely an international hub. So it will be part of a wider strategic plan to, so you position yourself in Singapore, but you're taking advantage of the neighboring jurisdictions and so on, because Singapore has the banking, Singapore has the, the financial services infrastructure, so on and so forth. So, okay.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.